Hello, and welcome to my study abroad presentation on Madrid 2020. My name is Tristan, and I've made this presentation video for Misters. The table of content of the presentation is as follows. I would like to talk about the university itself and the campus, the location of the university, the classroom, environment, student life, housing, and local culture, and I will finish with the conclusion. The university itself and the campus. I studied in Madrid at the Universidad Europea de Madrid. When I look back at the university itself, I would say it's a very modern university with a lot of modern architecture, but also a lot of modern technology that is implemented at the university. On the right, we can see a picture of a model of the campus. As you can see, it's a rather big campus with a lot of faculties, but also a lot of facilities. Due to the fact that it's such a big campus, there was a really quiet vibe uh, at the school. So it was really relaxing, even when you sit for a few hours at the main uh, pond in the middle. A fun fact that I can tell about the university itself, and of course also the campus, is that there was a Netflix series called Elite, which was actually recorded at the university that I study at, which is a fun fact to know. The location of the university. The university was actually located just outside of Madrid in a small neighborhood called Villa Viciosa de Odon, and due to the fact that it was actually outside of Madrid and me also living just outside of Madrid, it took me only 40 minutes to get to school with public transport. And the big benefit was that it was never really busy when I wanted to go to school. When I could compare it to friends that I've made that who lived in the city center and also went to school in the city center, they most often had days that they would have to wait for more than an hour to even get a a spot on the bus. The classroom atmosphere. Um, in the classroom, there was a very international. The classroom was an international community, just like we have at 8HS. I had a lot of students from different nationalities. We had students from the United States, Italy, Japan, Korea. I had a few students from France, and of course me and my fellow students from the Netherlands. When I look back, one thing that I've noticed was that it was really group work focused. So there were a lot of small activities that we had to do in groups, so that we really get the experience of working in groups and also be able to handle with different members and different visions. What I also noticed was that there was a very big difference in teaching styles. You had very old-fashioned teachers that where, of course, it's an extreme example where you had to put up your hand to ask if you want to go to the toilet, and there were also teachers that were very open and very free, where you can actually decide for yourself how do you want to do the subject and at what pace. One thing that was really something new for me is that, and also was a fact that I really needed to get used to and adapt to, was that the school was really informal. Of course, I'm from the Netherlands. I was not used to calling my teacher by their first name. In the Netherlands, I was kind of taught that I would have to name my teacher or professor by the last name. At last, I would like to talk. Next, I would like to talk about the student life. In Spain, there is a thing called siesta, which is around midday. So my schedule at school would be based around the siesta, which has as a consequence that I had a lot of free time because I had school until the siesta, and after the siesta I was free, which gave me a lot of opportunity to explore the city and really get to know the city and make most of the stay there. Also, City Life Madrid is an organization which provides a lot of opportunities for you to network, but also explore the city with different trips and also look at the local culture with salsa dancing and also all different kinds of activities. Then, what's very important, of course, for a student is that Spain, especially Madrid, has a student's transport subscription, which is called Tarjeta Transport Público, which is a subscription where you pay 20 euros per month and you get to travel free for free everywhere. So it's kind of comparable to the OV card that we have in the Netherlands. Housing and local culture. As I've mentioned before in this presentation, I lived just outside of Madrid, in Boadil de Monte, and the street was called Avenida Condesa de Chinchon. It was a uh, very quiet neighborhood, which gave me a lot of opportunity to really focus on what I was doing and also focus on my study and, of course, on my mental and physical health. Madrid itself, it is a beautiful city. It has beautiful parks, beautiful palaces, and monuments. In the left corner, you can see me in front of El Tiro Monument, which is a monument that was from the Civil War. And next to that picture, you can see me in a glass palace, which is one of the main tourist attractions of Madrid. It's a huge palace which is completely um, yeah, made out of glass. On the right, you can see some pictures of my street and just the neighborhood around my street, my back garden, and my room. It was kind of small, but it was just enough what I needed, and it gave me a good place to retrieve and a good place to focus on my study. So to come to a conclusion about my stay in Madrid, of course, unfortunately, it was shortened. It was short because of the COVID-19, and I was just in time to return to the Netherlands before the total lockdown of the country. But still, I had the time of my life. I've made a lot of new friends, and I've had experiences I would never have had before, and I got to know so much about the Spanish culture, and also really was able to develop myself more as a person. Madrid is a beautiful city, and yeah, I would love to return again. It will be a city that I will be returning to a lot, since I have the feeling that I did not fully explore the city yet, and yeah, I would advise you to go because it's a really beautiful city. Just on a side note, you've noticed probably that I added a picture of two thieves stealing a phone. Um, Barcelona is a really a big city and also a city where a lot of phones get stolen, but also Madrid has a handful of that. So I would advise for anyone to go that goes to Madrid, take an old cell phone or a cell phone that can be stolen, because before you know it, your phone is stolen and you don't want to have that. Unfortunately, I've experienced that, so be careful with that. My sources, well, most of my pictures are taken by myself that are shown in the presentation with my iPhone 11 and unfortunately my Samsung S8 Plus, due to the fact that my iPhone 11 was stolen. But furthermore, I would like to thank you for listening to my presentation, and if there's any questions, I will be happy to answer them.